Welcome back, everyone, and I'm so happy to be here sharing our next session. By far, this wins the award for the most interesting name of a session. It's the Myotek When the Lights Go Out, the Excitement Begins. And as we've seen throughout the last 2 days, the importance of lighting, both interior and exterior, for enhancing a brand's image or defining the brand's image has become extremely important. We've also seen within concept cars and mainly in production cars how they're embracing this challenge of the lighting and using it to the next level, whether it be through the traditional methods or taking a few risks in concepts. So I'm so glad today to have Myotek here with us, who are the experts at this. So we've got Rob and Eric. Can we bring them forward? Hey guys, can I just double check, where are you guys at the moment?
We're in Farmington Hills, Michigan, United States.
So we're bringing the US to the Asian market. So this is truly global.
Correct.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have some fun today in the sense that Rob and Eric are going to share their screen with us. Now, this is always fraught with some technology, guys, so nobody panic, but they're going to share their screen. And then later on, I've got some really challenging questions for you two. So Eric, in particular, you better get ready because I've got some mean ones for you. So if I can hand over to you, Rob and Eric, and we can share your presentation and we'll reconnect after we've seen your slideshow.
Great. Thank you very much. It's a real pleasure to be here. Let's go right into the presentation and we can start to show you some of the capabilities of what Myotek is all about. One of the things that we're noted for is innovation. And Myotek obviously is a manufacturer of high precision fog lamps. And over the years, we've done some tremendous things with fog lamps in regards to optical design, reflector design, and aesthetic design. And literally about 2.5 years ago, I was recruited to come to Myotek, and I ended up bringing Eric across with me to infuse a new generation of innovation into fog lamps. So this presentation is going to show you a little bit of new ideas, new technology. It's also going to expand the horizons of global lighting in regards to looking at other areas within lighting within the vehicle, and we would like to share. But we always like to start off with a kicker slide, as we call it. But we believe right now that logic will get you from point A to B, but imagination can take you anywhere. And we're obviously quoting Albert Einstein, but at the same time, it's a motive and a methodology that we've accepted and we have lived. And in the few short years, we've developed some pretty amazing technologies that we'll share with you today. So overview real quickly is fogs and chimzo lamps is something that we've produced. And our big customers are Ford, Stellantis, huge amount of fog lamps that we do with them. And we have some other smaller OEMs as well. And again, we do all our designing here in the United States, as well as have production plants in Taiwan. But we also produce fog lamps here in the United States as well. So with these fog lamps, what we've done is we've ingested now a lot of information and cranked out some new information with fog lamps of actually combining them and putting pedestrian communication modules in there. We have an afterglow technology we'll explain a little bit, as well as sensing technologies, whether it's camera, infrared, LiDAR. And what we found is there's great interest of moving that technology into a fog lamp space. So what we're trying to do is give more value and more use of fog lamps going forward. Another area that we've done tremendous development with, we started with illuminated badge and projection. Both Eric and I have about 8 years of experience doing this, so we brought this to Myotek, and we'll explain what we're doing in this with full animation, full projection coming out of badges, as well as involving ourselves with miniature DLP, digital light projection, for color for inside and outside of vehicles. In 2020, we actually dove into the EV grill market as well as the standard illumination grill market, and we'll be showing you some of those technologies today. And also in 2020, we've taken our technology that we're pretty sound with electronics, and we've actually developed LEDs in glass. And we've actually have done it so good that we've got the world's first auto-qualified LED matrix that can be laminated into window glass, as well as what we're using in fog lamps, as well as in EV grill for kind of a pedestrian communication graphic. And again, too, we're in very select interior lighting, which we'll show you today. We've done some really cool things with transparent leather, illuminated door spheres, cup holders, and some unique projection. So as we look at things, I'll dive into a couple of particular products that may interest people, but this is our EV grill. Our EV grill was finished about 3-4 months ago, and we took a stab at it. And what we did was we designed it in such a way that we could have ambient lighting, we could have pedestrian communication. We now have built-in fog lamps, which is not represented in the photograph that you're seeing, but that will be subsequent available within the next couple of weeks. But what we've done is we realized that there's a lot of different things happening in the EV market. And one of the things that Myotek is good at is integration of technologies and light. So as you can see by the rendering out there on this slide, we're able to communicate to pedestrians at a particular time in space when the car is coming up to a crosswalk, exactly what the car is doing. It's just an option. We can also add the ambient lighting to enhance the electronics. We can do ambient lighting for welcome and exit scenario. But one of the things that we're showing you on the very bottom is a segment of the LED matrix panel that's fully auto-qualified. And as I mentioned before, it can be laminated into window glass and even polycarbonate. But what we've been able to do is have a very fine pitch LED. We're able to tile these together on demand at the time of design so that we can create different looks and actually put them in different shapes of products. These are some of the close-ups of what we've done in regards to the current EV grill. The top picture is in the off state. The picture on the lower left is having some of the highlight of the electronic, call it circuit design that we've done. And then we turn on the actual star tips at the end of that. And again, that is a perfect opportunity for welcome and exit scenarios, especially if it's an electric vehicle doing something interesting. Then what we've done is the middle is our matrix panel. And again, we have lots of different graphics. Now we've moved into autonomous blue, which is really beautiful. And we can communicate whether it's the battery, walking man, stop signs, arrows, and we have full animation that comes into the EV grill. So we're pretty excited about the product of this, and we really want to show this because it needs to be shown to be appreciated. And again, it's a starting point. It isn't a grounding point. It's a starting point for what we can be doing going forward with this technology in a whole boat of different types of designs. We're also looking into, and we have developed some illuminated traditional grill sets for vehicles. And again, these are customer demand. These are marketing driven. These have to be done tastefully. But we understand the technology. We understand how to do fine lines as well as even global illumination on the grill for highlighting and like wall sconce type lighting or cove lighting. So we're just mentioning this because it is a point to be mentioned with. And again, with the fog lamps and the Chimsel lamps, these are some of the products that we've done. As you look in the lower left, that is an actual production-based, it's not in production, but it is a fog lamp that has an animated color display that communicates to pedestrian. On the right of that would come on a fog lamp, and there's some ambient lighting put into it. That is all made possible by the matrix panel that we've designed and integrated into this fog lamp. So again, it's kind of a designer's dream to figure out and fashion where you want to go with this type of technology. And again, it can be used just as accent technology as well. And then we've moved into DLP projection. This fog lamp is currently done, and it is a working sample that actually has a DLP projector. It is a Texas Instruments projector that we successfully integrated into this fog lamp, along with some really cool looking optics and animation for blinkers, if you want to do that, turn signals, as well as when the car comes on, the fog lamps activate. And again, this is in relationship and a partnership that we're working with Covestro, which is one of the largest polycarbonate companies on the earth. And we've teamed up to produce these ideas and generations for products, along with the EV grill, which I should say, because Covestro is our partner in that as well. So a lot of enhancements have done. But one of the interesting things that we've done is, since we are optic people and we know how to do optics, especially in reflectors, we actually designed and actually invented a afterglow optic. And what it is it built into a fog lamp, and the actual optic itself is made out of an optical clear silicone. And what we've done is we've put in a certain area, to be determined by design, but we've designed a ring of glow-in-the-dark material, so that when the fog lamp is on and illuminating, it's actually charging the glow-in-the-dark material. But when you park your car and shut it off and there's no energy, the afterglow will continue for between 8 and 10 hours and slowly diminish. We have lots of interest in this. It's a patented technology now, and we have some OEMs are seriously looking at it to continue their branding experience. And we'll show you some of that in a little bit later. And again, with our fog lamps, we're putting in sensors, cameras, LiDAR, radar, thermal imaging. These are things that we believe are going to be important. As the real estate of headlamps continue to diminish, fog lamps have a great amount of space, less regulation, and have the opportunity to be very thoughtful and creative when we actually put into products and think about those things. So that's something that we're doing as well. Here's another close-up of the afterglow. And as you can see on the very bottom, upper left is a Myotek brand. The center one is the new Ford Bronco. And the other one is just an off state that we can actually achieve. So it does look pretty sexy in the off state. But again, these are new ideas, new things to be tried on, and we believe they will be very successful. The illuminated RAM badging is actually something that Eric has been pushing our company to do, and we dove into it. And what we've done is we're using a silicone material for this particular one. And what we've done is made the silicone material extremely robust. It's practically indestructible. It can handle severe impact. It can actually handle weathering. And it actually can hold our afterglow technology. But the most important part of this thing, it can be on a stealth type looking, so when the off state, it looks black. But through our process, we've been able to put a very high resolution aperture into this. And that's what's shown in the white as well as into the red. And it actually can come on and show this with a beautiful outline. And we can do it with a lot of different designs of logos. But when the lights go off, the RAM badge for this particular one will continue to glow for another 6 to 10 hours, depending, and actually enhance the branding experience. So this is something that we're pretty excited about. But to address the other areas too, with impact-resistant polycarbonate options, we have come up with an opportunity of not doing illuminated chrome, but enhanced illuminated chrome, which means we still use an outline and we selectively chrome around the RAM. So it gives it the chrome look, as you can see in the outline illumination, or we can actually do a black version in polycarbonate and do the outline as that as well to create that unique look. So we're capable now of doing both technologies. And this is brand new. And obviously, one customer that's looking at this seriously. We are enhancing and expanding our efforts. So we'd love to talk with you about these particular branding if you're interested. The other thing about this branding is it is full animated. we can do any type of customization in regards to building the brand within the badging. And we think it's quite interesting to have that opportunity to build. But we actually took it one step further. You might notice a little white dot just above the description of the red badge animation. What that is an integrated projector. And in the case of the RAM, these are actual images. We actually can project out of the badge onto the ground another type of logo, and we'll show you what we can be doing with that as well. The RAM badge now gives the capability of a 2-for-1 function. It will give you obviously badging illumination, but projection illumination on the ground as well. So what does this really mean? What it really means is that lighting is really helping us divide and drive new design features. And as you can see the renderings here of the man that might have a package in his hand or a box in his hand coming up to the Dodge Ram, the car is energized already, so the logo is white. But as he gets closer, it senses his presence. It projects down the white Ram out of the Ram badging. As he steps into the projector, it turns red, signifying that it has received him. It understands he's there, and it actually starts to open up the back door or turn on the interior lights. It can be programmed any way. So what we're doing here is using an illumination technology to drive creature features. And obviously when it's going down the road, it's red in color, and it gives us the branding capability that really enhances the vehicle and delivers a better brand value. Lots of interest here. And again, some other innovation areas that Eric has been working in is applying it into different areas of the vehicle. We have developed a very high resolution, high brightness projector. It is very bright. In fact, we're working on an almost daylight readable one that in most cases can project an image during the daylight and you can see it. But again, these are just some of the avenues and applications that we've been working on. Another area here is the ultra high resolution mirror projection. Again, we're showing this on the Jeep. That's one of our biggest customers, but the high resolution graphics is actually there, and it does a very nice job. And again, just start to use your imagination. Stepping into this beam can do something with the car. It could even start the vehicle if you program it that way. It's all about creature features and innovation at this point. So when we talk about illuminated badging and projection, these are some of the areas that we're actually right now involved in, and we have working products to show. We've developed a series of animations, and you can see it by the Mustang. We are capable of actually having color animation coming out of a mirror, for example, that can actually do sophisticated branding animation to show either the battery, a logo animated like the Mustang, a building, a logo like the Lincoln. And it's capable now of using your Bluetooth to program it. So imagine going out with your wife on a special 25th anniversary celebration, and you're opening the car door, and you may just be able to project down, "I love you, what a great time for 25 years," some kind of a message to her. These are actual personal creature features that people are looking for now in vehicles. And we are delivering the methods, the technology, and the software to be able to do that. We just need to be challenged by an OEM to get involved with it, and we can deliver some spectacular results. And again, these are automobile proven technologies. They are ready for high volume production. Some of the other areas that we've enhanced is we're in the silicone badging. We've actually moved it inboard as well. And this is actual technology that can be put into a seat in a variety of different locations. It's silicone based. It is totally flexible. It can be stealth when it's off. It can be on, as you actually see the picture in the very middle of the screen. That is a real illuminated badging. And if I was to push on it, It flexes with the seat, but it gives a really cool branding experience to the interior of the car. And that's something that we are aggressively entering the space. And there's been lots of interest with seating companies on this. So it's something that we'd love to talk to more OEMs about, as well as people who are interested in illumination of the brand internal to the car. And our leap of faith here, but we're basing this upon a lot of experience between Eric and I, we are moving into the illuminated areas. These are actual cup holders. We have developed a process. We believe cup holders are boring. I think you can agree with that, Eric.
Yeah.
I mean, over time, we've looked at cup holders, and we've done a lot of the first cup holder illumination 20 years ago. But now we're capable of doing some really cool things with optical silicone, polycarbonate. These are holographic cup holders that actually can shimmer and shine, have a star field effect. We can actually put a heater in there, a warmer for your coffee. There's a lot of different things we can do, but what we're trying to do is show the world that cup holders do not have to be boring, and either does a console. And again, when we think about illumination, we think about seat illumination, we think about door panel illumination, we've done it. We have samples, we have doors, we actually have different areas that we can actually show them and show OEMs the capability of what can be done. These are teasers for this car design symposium, but we want to make sure that we communicate that to you. But these are the trends that we see happening in the global lighting marketplace. And again, these are other products. You can see the logo, the Volkswagen logo in the seat. You can see a door that is using some very, very innovative. We've partnered with CTG, which is a interior materials company that actually produces some very high resolution, semi-transparent materials. And what we've done is develop some innovative light guides, as well as some innovative wave guides that we call, that actually can show and highlight the product itself and supply light to these surfaces in a very thin form. We're also involved in capacitance touch, which is what we call crystal panel. We partner with a company called Myotek that actually is an expert in this. And we can give these translucent effects and crystal effects, but have full performance with capacitance touch and control by using the electronics with this. Another area that we're really involved in is we've been looking at chimsels, and we see chimsels all day long, and they're the most commoditized product probably in the world. But like Eric, we ask, why can't they look better? Why can't we do more with it? So we've actually developed a chimsel with an integrated back projection light. And as you can see, if you're camping and you have your Jeep vehicle or your Hummer vehicle or whatever vehicle, and you want to supply some rear illumination, bingo, you can turn this baby on. It could actually be used as a backup light as well. But again, these are integrated ideas, integrated designs that we feel need to start to happen in the market as more and more people become unitized to their car, as well as the ride share, as well as the autonomous as it continues to develop. And again, we mentioned with our lighting, communication, and glass and polycarbonate, basically it's not if, it's when lighting will become integrated into glass and polycarbonate. And we have done this. We are working with two global glass companies. And you can see the windshield up to the right, that's the spoiler. That is actually a real windshield with our product laminated inside the glass. And it can be used to signify lift, can be used to signify delivery. And what's really cool about it, all the electronics is outboard. It would be up in the headliner. So there's some really cool opportunities coming along with this. And again, our matrix panel, as well as some other innovative technologies that we're using, transparent displays, are making this possible. So we have a concerted effort right now of doing all this lighting in glass. And we are working with Covestro and successfully have done some trial runs with polycarbonate as well. which is going to open up some interesting new product and new designs as we go forward. So as this whole development goes through here, you can probably see that there's a lot of value proposition going on in regards to design. What we're trying to do, we're trying to increase our global footprint. And as you can really see, innovation is really a major mainstay at Myotek. We set up a whole design division, and we do a lot of idea generation. We are open for OEMs to challenge us with a particular product of design that they may want, and we would address that accordingly. But what we are planning on doing, as soon as everything settles down a bit more, we're heading out globally, and we would love to knock on your door and have some visits and see you all. So I appreciate the time on the presentation, and I'm going to hand it back to our guest.
Wow. I mean, it sounds like you guys are not waiting for the industry to do stuff. You're actually directing the industry on from an expert. I kind of look at it at a kind of Henry Ford, Steve Jobs sort of approach, where you're kind of, the industry doesn't know what it wants, and you're basically telling them. And I truly respect that, because I sometimes think we're spending too much time in the industry kind of looking what other people are doing and trying to do it better instead of leading the way. And I think that's my first take. But I really want to dig into some detail, because I was kind of happy with what you said, but I wasn't happy with what you said, because I never like it when when people tease us. And let's start with the fog lamps.
Sure.
Because you actually said soon something's coming. So I wanted to ask a question about that. As a leading fog lamp manufacturer, I've written down some notes here. Where do you think fog lamps will evolve to, and what are some of the changes you are implementing for the future? Now, you give us a teaser, but can you take us a little bit further down that journey?
Yeah, I can lead off, and maybe Eric can chime in. Well, first off, fog lamps have diminished globally. They get designed out, it seems. Some companies really want them, some forget them, and they just design them out. So that was the first challenge when I took the helm here. The second challenge is that our fog lamp business was growing with our technology. But what we were trying to do is understand why the fog lamps were maybe diminishing a little bit in regards to design. Was it headlights were taking over? It was a whole real estate issue. So what we decided to do is we looked at the market, and we realized that the fog lamps could actually serve best with a new technology infusion. So what we decided to do was, we're a fog lamp manufacturer, so we said, okay, what's going to happen going forward? Communication to pedestrians, sensors, different things like that are really becoming more important. They either end up in a grill or below the grill in a bumper, or maybe in headlights. And we decided that we are going to take a concerted aim and actually put the technology into fog lamps and make that a module that we could actually sell, so that companies can design their headlights to do things, but they can also incorporate the technology within fog lamps and maybe offer a different look. And I appreciate the comment at the very beginning, what you said about forging like Henry Ford. We are, because we believe imagination still is more important than knowledge sometimes, even though we have to have the knowledge. And that's why we are putting all our effort of saying, hey, let's look at the fog light differently. Let's understand what we can do differently with this product and expand the offering and take some risk. And that's basically what we're doing today. And maybe you want to add a few things about sensors.
I think it's well put, what you said. Adding sensors, there's packaging space available in fog lamps to add a variety of technologies. So it was said that LiDAR, radar, other sensors, we're seeing parking sensors, daylight running lamps, pedestrian communication is big. So, those are the things going forward that we see that could be easily added into fog lamps and the available space.
Yeah, I can see that. I do love the idea that you've realized an element where it's got some capacity because it is used less. So let's use it to its maximum. Well, I think that's a huge benefit. I think the industry has struggled with, okay, there's power sources here. Why aren't we using them? Why are we bringing in? So it's kind of like just marrying. There's a gap here. There's a need. So let's marry them together. So I see that now. Electric. I'm going to grill you about grills. So electric vehicle grills. It's kind of like one of those things. I mean, why are you entering the EV grill market? And what is the uniqueness and value you bring to this new and growing segment? It's obviously the most important, but why are you entering it?
Yeah, we're entering it for a variety of levels. One is we are open. I mean, literally, we have the capability of producing a molded grill if we needed to. We have that total capability with our company. We have the presses and all that. But the other thing what we have is we have the technology, the lighting, and the understanding on how to use that technology and integrate it into a product like an electric vehicle grill. So we're open for two business opportunities here because we're looking at it. Either we do our grills and do it ourselves, but we're not a big grill manufacturer. But what we are capable of doing is putting in all the technologies and coordinating those technologies with a grill manufacturer if they want to go ahead and do the heavy lifting on the molding. We can bring along fog lamps, we can bring along ambient lighting, we could bring along matrix, and we have those technologies ready that can be easily integrated into these designs. So what we've done with Covestro is put a foot forward. Covestro they're interested in selling pellets of polycarbonate, but they've invested, almost $1 million into EV grill samples. So we've taken those samples, we've used their molds, and we've integrated and built up these designs similar to the one that's behind here. And we are going out to the world and say, hey guys, these are some of the ideas that are there. These are some of the things that we can do. It might be a little risky what we're doing, but at the same time, we got your back element. We know how to do the electronics inside. And if a company comes to us that's smaller and says, hey, we want to do a grill with you, it makes sense, we'll do it. But at the same time, we're out there shopping to show the world that we are serious and we understand this market and we have some benefit and value and some IP that we can throw into it.
Okay, excellent. And that totally makes sense. I mean, we're seeing some changes, and these are cars that are actually on the road with what they're actually playing with the grills, and they're using it as a brand identity. And I think you're absolutely right. Bringing in the kind of safety element gives it kind of a two-prong attack on what can be done. I'm really interested in Eric, really. Eric, it must have been a shocker when you go to your organization and you say, I've got this really great idea, but I got the sense that they probably looked at you and went, are you crazy? I mean, was it kind of like you had to convince them to the next level? Because it was something which I can't see. Was it a picture in your head, or did you have examples you had for them? What was your process?
Well, the process was Robert and I together, had looked at the opportunity, and it was more him, taking it to the upper management and saying, hey, look, we have this opportunity, electric vehicles and non-electric vehicles are moving into the EV grill space and lighted grill space. And the components are they're very similar to fog lamps. They're just larger, flatter, more spread out, same materials, our electronics and our capabilities internally, our equipment, manufacturing is all very similar. So it looked, plus it's front vehicle projection of lighting, which is what we're already doing with fog lamps. So it made sense. They saw that. So.
Yeah, so can I add to that, the badging and the projection? So where do you see the illuminated vehicle badging evolving to? And what are your thoughts on projection technologies for welcome and exit and personalization? Because we talked about personalization for customers.
Sure. So for badging, we're already seeing more illuminated badges coming out. There was some regulations maybe in the past year that hindered it, but we're seeing when the vehicle is parked or when it's driving, there's an opportunity depending on where the badging is, interior and exterior. For projection, So I see that projection and badging growing in both. Projection is being currently used in production. Cadillac Escalade is one. It has two projections that we know of. Rear of vehicle down by the tailgate and or the hatch, and then in front projecting down on the dash so you can see branding from the outside in. So those areas are going to grow along with the personalization aspect.
Okay, right. So we're talking about people now. So I really want to talk about pedestrian communication, because I think this is an area which is becoming extremely important, especially with the EV and basically the silence of the vehicles. So Myotek has been promoting pedestrian communication options in fog lamps and EV grills. How do you see this evolving in future cars?
Go ahead, you want to take that?
I could. Well, we see a lot of interest so far. Since the last time we did the car design news in April, we've had significant uptick of, oh my gosh, this is interesting. This is good stuff. I mean, some designers have contacted us personally and said, this is something that we're looking at. It's on the books. Didn't really know what we could do, but again, it's a want, it's a need. It's keeping us up at night. So we know that we're on the right track here, first off. But what we see is the avenue of stepping into this is that, I believe we're going to be able to do a fog lamp very, very soon, probably in production within 2 to 3 years with a small communication matrix inside it. We think we have some interest there. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, I believe we'll also be doing a grill with somebody. We're not sure yet. This is just taking on some shape. The enabling factor was the matrix display of being able to have something that can communicate. I mean, there's talk about putting projectors in grills. You need some depth. We have an LCD panel that is ruggedized, that will work and will function and is replaceable if needed, that can do full animations and communication. So we believe we have some of the basic tools, and we're already in version 2.0 for the next panel that we're doing, a super high resolution one and RGB. So we're capable of having that technology to enhance. So we see the market as definitely accepting, and our goal is to get the first one in production. But our bigger goal, because of COVID, is getting the information out to the OEs and to some of the tiers who might be interested in this, that we are here and we have some things. And it's going to take that collaboration and generation to obviously move it to the next level.
Yeah, and I'd like to add, the safety aspect. Going into fully electric vehicles, you mentioned, Abel, that the sound part or the lack of sound, in certain locations when the pedestrians are out and about, you're going to have vehicles that don't make sound or very little sound, and you'll have autonomous type of vehicles where that communication, that physical eye contact you see, the pedestrian sees between the driver and yourself as the pedestrian is gone. These communication tools, we'll call them, or features in the fog lamp, such as, let's say, something like this, indicates that I'm stopped, the vehicle stopped, go ahead, it's safe to walk, continue, because there may not be eye contact. The person could be sleeping or on their phone. We don't know, right? So these, as we're getting into that level of autonomy, safety is going to be a concern, because the common elements that we have today with the regular vehicles, it will be different. So
yeah, I totally agree with you, Eric. I think we're seeing pedestrians are now not just walking, they're actually entertaining themselves, whether it be through a headset or something, which means that a visual cue, I think even sound's becoming a bit of a debate. I play golf, and people walk up this public pathway and they're all on their headphones. They're all running, jogging with their headphones on. So they can't actually, they need some visual stimulus, which is going to engage with them. So I do agree. I think this is an extremely important part of it. But I want to talk about, because the one that I like, because back in the day, I was a party animal. You'd never believe it, but I love the word, the glow optic, the afterglow. Kind of like you've done the party, you've driven the car, you've burnt those wheels up, and then you want to have an experience, not only for you, but for other people as well. I guess if it's on your drive and is lit for a certain amount of time, there's still a kind of a sense of enjoyment. And I saw it on the Bronco, which is a fabulous vehicle, which is so personalized and so rugged in so many different ways, but so practical as well, I guess. Can you talk a little bit more about your intent in that direction of the afterglow?
Yeah, basically, our goal, that has been a wild, I call it information success, because we just got it all together to the point of pioneering the technology, doing the testing, everything's good. We have actually taken one of our production lamps and actually produced, it's not here yet, it's the parts are just being assembled, but we actually have our first afterglow lamp in a production lamp. And we are planning on taking that back to the OEM. And I think they're going to absolutely go bananas when they see it. They know about it, but at the same time, they haven't seen it. And again, having the glow as the afterglow performance is only a brand generator. So you imagine you're parking your car, it's nighttime, your car is still glowing when you walk away from it in the most unique way.
And not taking energy.
Yeah, and it's not taking energy.
Yeah.
We're looking at other areas of using this technology because we believe that enhancing, when you get into an interior, a lot of times, they're putting light everywhere, but there's a lot of things that can be done with an afterglow technology to really continue the effect on without the energy loss. So what we're planning on doing is expanding greatly the glow optic. And the optic itself, anything that we produce can have that in it. And we can actually do all these different designs, even in getting into the point of putting the logo itself in the middle of the beam, for example, and having that glow when it goes off and still have a functional fog light. You'll see some really interesting things in the next 3 to 6 months, because we have a variety of other products coming around that. But it's something that we think it's going to change and will be adopted very quickly.
I'm totally sold. I mean, I'm one of these weird people that washes their car. God knows there's people where you can pay to do it. But I actually like the environment of experiencing it. And I think the exterior of the car, I have beautiful LEDs on my car, but I can't experience them because I can only experience them because other people experience it because I'm driving the car, and I get frustrated that they say, wow, your car looks so great on the road, but I can't. But this I can experience because it's on my drive. It's something I can see, something I can engage with. I want this. So, this, you've won me over with this one. Now we're running out of time, so I'm going to wrap up the session. However, there is something really cool here. Both Eric and Rob are available in the chat function, so they'll answer any questions. But what they're going to do, which is going to take it to the next level, is you can actually go to the expo booth. You can actually have a personalized meeting with them. You can innovate with them. You can kind of throw them a crazy idea, and it looks like Eric and Rob are going to embrace it and probably take it in a direction that you wouldn't see. So I would strongly advise you to go from here to the chat box, to their expo booth, and connect with those guys and have a chat. You can do a video chat. You can have a chat. You can set up a meeting. We've got some technology there that is amazing. This matchmaking is kind of like going to match you guys up. And I thank you both for coming. I know it's dreadfully early in Michigan at the moment, but you guys are pushing the boundaries, and I think there's an opportunity here in the Asian market here. You've seen loads of lighting ideas, but you guys are taking it to the next level. I love it, Rob, when you said we're already working on 2.0 when you haven't even got 1 point off the ground. You're already taking it to the next level, and I love it. So thank you both for coming. I appreciate you guys being here. We're just going to take a very short break because we've overrun, but I think it was worth overrunning, to be honest. And you've got me back for the next session. So thank you, guys, and look forward Look forward to you guys being on the chat box. I've got a question I'm going to fire to you right now. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.